Welcome back to The Good Life, folks. I have mud on my face. There is a good reason for that. Today's episode, I am going to show you why that here was a surprise to me as well. Keep watching. So before I take you fully into why that greenhouse over there is a bit of a surprise to me, I will take you back a few days to show you the lead up to this. And for anyone who actually saw my reel on Instagram when I put it up, don't worry, I am fine. I was fine. I went home, I had a little bit of a cry, and then I felt a lot better after that. So I'm a big advocate for mental health, having ADHD. So yeah, don't feel ashamed to admit you cried, especially when the storm does that to your original polytunnel. But also, I have fixed the shelter as well. Well, I didn't actually fix it, that's a lie. I got a new one. So yeah, this episode I'm going to take you through what I did with that and just another few bits and pieces while we get the plot ready to go for the spring. I am glad you're with me. Thank you for joining us, and you really are appreciated. So at what point do we think probably not very good at this gardening, homesteading allotment thing? That's my event shelter. That used to be where I was going to be working from my allotment. Not anymore, clearly. And that's just there. That used to be my polytunnel. I hate the storms. I hate quite a lot of things at the moment. I'll be alright. They're okay. I've made the polytunnel look a little bit less, like it's got a massive skylight. And I've taken the event shelter down. So with any luck, actually, we've made some progress today. I've cleared out the polytunnel as well. It looks really, really tidy now. So I've put the new table in, I've organised the shelves properly, reorganised all of the trays and pots and things like that. So that's good. It's just a bit miserable, the whole thing, isn't it? Still, I know that everybody else having an allotment is going through this kind of stuff at the moment. So I feel really sorry for you as well. It is utterly miserable. I'm not even quite sure there's anything we could do to prevent it either. And I do know that storms are part of our life and part of nature and all of that kind of stuff. So just a little bit miffed, but we will regrow. It's not too bad. Here's to everyone else and their allotment. I've just got my new shelter through. I've also got my polytunnel cover as well, but I need two people to do that and G can't help me today. So I've just got my new cover through my new shelter for my picnic table, and I'm about to go and put it up at the allotment. It is not the greatest of weather. It's a little bit rainy and I've got all of about half an hour before sunset. So let's see if I can actually get it up in that time, shall we? We shall find out. So today I'm literally just going to put the shelter up. My plot is definitely not the Instagram plot it should be. That's where I've put my picnic table instead of putting it over there where it used to be. You can see my polytunnel as well. I've tried to kind of rig up some sort of cover for it in a temporary. Not really quite sure if it was worth it, to be honest. I've nicknamed it the harem tent at the moment. It's kind of what it looks like. It looks like a disaster zone. Let's go and have a look and see what it actually looks like. So you can see, this is kind of what I've done to it so far. This is where my picnic table used to be and stuff has just flown around everywhere. So it's a job tomorrow to try and get this all sorted out. Our tree has lasted though. Malcolm, one of the lovely people in our allotment, bought that for the wedding and it has actually lasted. So I'm pleased about that. That's the old gazebos. And that's the holes and pipes and things that we need to sort out recycling of these. But yeah, it's good to be able to just pop in. I rigged up a door. Not that it makes much of a difference, but yeah, see, it's looking okay in there. I've tidied it up a little bit. Got all my pots and things ready to go. It's definitely not waterproof, but it will be soon. That's me, my roof. It's not too bad. We will get there. Tomorrow I will come down with G and he's going to see if he can sort out the polytunnel roof for me. So, not too bad. As you can see, I was actually losing the light as I was putting this up.
and it wasn't quite as muddy today as it will be later on in the video, which you will see. These shelters are fairly simple and easy to put up. They're actually fairly robust. The reason that it got destroyed was actually there's a slow bush behind, and I think the fabric just got snagged on the slow bush, and then the wind did the rest of its job to it. So yeah, ripped a skylight in the side, which wasn't exactly ideal. But if you've ever put up a tent before, these are fairly simple to put up. The only difficult thing is doing the roof, which can be an absolute nightmare, which you'll probably see in this time lapse. But yeah, I really like having a little shelter down at the allotment. I think it's lovely to have somewhere to kind of actually sit and chill out, and you know, it's undercover, so if it does rain I get to stay nice and dry, and if it's really, really sunny and hot, then I've got somewhere that's a little bit cooler to be. And it's always nice to have somewhere to sit and have a cup of tea with your fellow allotment friends. So I'm hoping that I'll get to spend a little bit more time down there during the day in the summertime this year, which I didn't do as much as I planned to last year because we had the wedding and then everything going on with our families that's been incredibly stressful this year and last year. So yeah, this year we're hoping for slightly less stress, but it hasn't really started out that way, has it? Still, hopefully this shelter will make a big difference, and I've moved it into a different place, so with any luck it's not going to get snagged on bushes and it should last a little bit longer. And having the picnic table somewhat in the middle of the allotment does mean it's a little bit nicer. I can sit and look at the whole allotment while I'm busy doing my work, which I'm looking forward to. So yeah, this is me getting this shelter up. Done. The storms will not keep us down, so that's the old polytunnel. I've accidentally managed to buy an entire polytunnel. I thought I bought just a cover, but as you can see from the bits on the floor that he is lovingly putting together, I bought a whole new polytunnel. The new shelter thing is up. The storm has battered it again, so I've now got to replace a pole with one of the old ones. But hopefully, me and Cheerful are going to go and put the rest of the new polytunnel up, which I'm quite excited about. So you can carry on watching it. Bye. So, ladies and gentlemen, I did not realise I had actually managed to buy an actual polytunnel. When I looked at the listing, it clearly said polytunnel cover for a 6 foot by 10 foot polytunnel, which is what we had measured ours to be. I knew it wasn't the same brand because our old polytunnel has a door at the front and this one didn't. But I thought, you know what, we'll stick a cover on it and see how it goes, and then we'll try and figure it out later on. When it arrived, I was like, oh, that's quite a big box, that's quite heavy, but I didn't open it for a few days because I couldn't get down to the allotment. And then when G opened it, I suddenly had this call from the end of the allotment going, do you know this has got poles in it? Which was a bit of a shock to both of us. So yeah, we decided after a slight amount of deliberation, and that's putting it politely, that actually we would put the whole polytunnel up, poles included, and then we could organise what we were going to do with the old polytunnel later on, which seemed like the most sensible option. And now when I can see them sitting next to each other, I realise that the one I've got is actually a slightly different size anyway, so I've got to try and figure out what brand the original one is to get an actual brand new polytunnel for it. So yeah, that's what the surprise was for us. It wasn't that difficult to put up, it was very stressful, but we've got a lot of stress going on at the moment, and both of us are very, very stressed and kind of wrung out with and exhausted with everything. So this was a somewhat stressful day together. But at the same score, we managed it, and you know, we ended up a few tears, a few arguments, a few bickerings, but we did actually end up managing it, and it's all nice and up now, so I'm quite happy about that. So just as a note to anyone who's ever thinking about putting up a polytunnel with a partner, make sure everyone's fed and watered beforehand so that you're not going into it hangry or complaining. Yeah, allotments are definitely a testing time for couples, aren't they? This one is definitely a little bit different to the old one that we've got. Frame-wise, it's roughly the same apart from the door, but the poles are a lot thinner, which, considering the price I paid for what I thought was actually a cover, it's not actually that bad, to be honest. And actually, getting the cover on, as you can see here, was possibly the easiest bit of the whole day. So a lot less stressful than we thought it would be. Quite proud of it by the time it was finished.
it is up. Finally. I did not know I'd bought one with poles, which is really cool. So now we've actually technically got 2 polytunnels, but that one obviously is the harem tent one, so it's not going to work. I have all of that stuff. Oh, where are we? There. So I've got all of this stuff to put back, or put in the new polytunnel, but it's roughly the same size, so that's okay. I don't think the new one's probably going to be the world's greatest polytunnel, but it will do for a little while. So that's going to be a tomorrow job, because G is already at the point of divorcing me after trying to put that up. So yeah, possibly not going to do that today. So I'll come back tomorrow. Guess he just had to go home because she forgot the pegs. We bought these pegs. These ones here. They're like the galvanised steel ones. We figured that'll probably hold it down a bit more. I'm also going to peg down the new gazebo-y thing a little bit more. I have about 20 minutes of sunlight left though, so this could be fun. I've also taken G home as well. Allotments are going to either make or break a couple, so I figure that I'll probably do the allotment on my own. No, we're alright. It's just a bit stressful. So let me sort out pegging this thing down and organising that thing. I want to try and get me other bits and pieces inside it as well, but I think that might wait till tomorrow. We'll see. Let me peg this down and we'll see how it goes.
So eagle-eyed viewers of you might actually notice that we swapped the position with the old polytunnel and the new polytunnel. I say we. I did it on my own and then sent G a picture of it later because I figured that I can always apologise for doing something on my own afterwards. Yeah, I have a bad back, so I'm not allowed to do all these things on really, but I got it done. It was fine. It wasn't actually as difficult as I thought it was, and he has forgiven me, so that's good.
Of course, one of the main problems we're having is it is so wet and so boggy that it's really, really difficult to move. The reason I've actually swapped those 2 polytunnels around position-wise is because that area is ever so slightly mildly drier. Slightly. Right, I am rapidly losing the light, so I'm going to grab all these shelving units and things and probably just chuck them in there. Not going to make it look overly pretty. Tomorrow when I come back I need to pop some slabs underneath the feet of the table because they are just sinking into the mud, which is so not fun. But my main aim was to get that new polytunnel actually pegged down, which is what it is now. If I can get these shelving units in there, great, wonderful. Go and peg the gazebo thing down a little bit more. Chuck a pallet or 2 on there and a peg just to kind of keep it weight down for the minute, and we'll figure out what we're going to do with it later. Probably going to take all the old plastic and stuff off of it tomorrow, so luckily tomorrow doesn't look like it's going to rain too much, so that's good. I am pleased we finally got it done, but I am absolutely shattered and I'm so looking forward to my bath, and we're losing the light. So I will say goodbye for today and I will see you tomorrow. This is what we are currently dealing with at the allotment. Look, it is just one bit of mud after the other, so that's definitely a job for us to do. Have a quick look at the rest of the allotment. It's definitely looking kind of a bit barren, isn't it? This is the cloud I was talking about, and this is not even on time lapse, so you can see how fast it's actually moving. Yeah, like over here we have some nice blue sky, lovely. Over here we don't have blue sky, we have a lot of grey clouds. I'm not sure if seeing the absolute chaos from last night in the light is a good thing, to be honest, but hey ho, it is what it is. Let's tidy this absolute heap up and then hopefully make some sense of the world, eh? Off we go. So let me take you through how I've set the place up. So it is incredibly muddy in here, as you can see, which is why there's cardboard all over the floor. I'm hoping it will dry out a bit now the polytunnel's actually got a roof on it. But we have got I've got a table just down the back there, just a bog standard like craft table, garden table thing. It's about 6 foot long, but it's going to make a great little potting bench. I do want to raise this section up somehow, so I put like a little shelf on it, because I realised I was kind of stooping over it quite a lot as I was planting stuff, which is not great for my back. But yeah, so that's going to be my potting bench area. I've got all of my pots obviously over there, loads of different sizes, all sorts. I've got all of my seed trays here. I use old meat trays because they've always worked for me. they're fine to start seedlings in. Here we can see the first set of shelving. So I've got 4 shelves, 1, 2, 3, 4. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, roughly 5 trays per shelf, but obviously they're different sizes. So that's going to be those. Got another one just here as well. And if you can see here, this one is already set up with our drip irrigation system. That's ready to go. And the tank is down here. I'm probably going to put that in the middle and use it for both of these shelves. I've got another 2 pumps on the way, so that should be fine. I've also got, if we spin around, there's my other camera tripod, another shelving unit just there, which will kind of be like my extra one. So this is inside the polytunnel. It's really muddy because we put it up last night in the rain and the mud, and it got really dirty, but it's fine. I love it. Amazing. So that was our polytunnel, and you can see it all behind me. I'm so excited to have it back, to be honest. We've still got the other one that we keep in the frame. It's either going to become a chicken shed, or we're going to try and actually get another cover for it, because I didn't actually know that this was going to be a real actual polytunnel. I thought it was just going to be the cover, so yay for us. Something good happened! Woo! But no, so we've got this up now. It has actually finally stopped raining, so I'm going to go and quickly plant those garlics out. And then I'm going to go home and see G, because I've not really seen him much this weekend, apart from when we were yelling at each other putting the polytunnel up. So it's good. We're all right. Don't worry. We're fine. But it's just slightly stressful putting the polytunnel up. I wouldn't recommend it. Just saying. But yeah, so I'm happy. Everyone else is happy, I think. And thank you very much for joining us. It's been a pleasure to have you along. I'm so pleased to have our polytunnel back, and I can't wait to see you in the next video. Bye!